guys, we're here at Alliance Jiu-Jitsu San Francisco with Vijay, the infamous that beat Mark Zuckerberg, right? So we're just gonna go into a little bit of his starting in Jiu-Jitsu, and then what led him to do that, and then leading up to that day in event. So Vijay, why did you start practicing Jiu-Jitsu?
I've been practicing Jiu-Jitsu for a couple of years here at Alliance, and before that, a few months here and there with a lot of gaps in between. So I would say about a couple of years, continuously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And then when you started, was there a specific goal or reason you started your practice?
Yeah, I would say I was kind of doing boxing, Krav Maga, and a bunch of other martial arts before. And the one thing that was lacking, if you will, was the ground game, which basically what Jiu-Jitsu is all about. So it's sort of to round up your whole martial arts game. And yeah, in general, it seems something fun. I've been seeing a bunch of these tournaments and MMA and matches and stuff. So it's good to kind of know what those moves are and sort of practice them.
Definitely, you enjoy more because you see more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure, that makes sense. And then what made you continue your practice? So that's the reason you started, but what was the reason that you continued training?
So, I mean, the gym itself and the people in the gym were, pretty good. Where, in terms of actually all the lessons, you learn everything from scratch. All the steps are laid out in a more comprehensive, understandable manner, so you don't feel lost. I believe that's something that I sort of went through before when I was training with other people, where things were a bit here and there. You didn't know that you have to start from A to eventually go to Z, and right. So yeah, but the fact that things were a lot more easier. And of course, instructors, that's you. You've been pretty, great. No, but that's a part of it too, because again, there are different people that I've sort of trained under. You've been the most methodical and yeah, I would say the best among all the people that I've trained under.
Yeah, definitely the way we teach, we try to get organization, structure, and logics behind. So that facilitates learning for anyone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially someone with a background in tech like yourself, that's already laid out, right? Which gets me into the next point, which is you wanted to have your first tournament experience, and then we were there, and then out of nowhere, when the moment for you to have your first match was Mark Zuckerberg. So what crossed your mind when you saw that was happening?
It was surprising for sure. The thing is, I was there a few hours earlier. I was watching all the gi matches.
Yeah.
He did show up to one of those matches, so I was like, okay, I knew he was there. But once that match was over, I'm like, okay, that's done. He's gone, and I need to get ready for mine. And
sure.
Yeah, before the match started, everyone had their names on the board, and I was like, okay, my name is not there. So which mat am I supposed to go? So I went and asked them. They were like, you know what? You need to wait for your opponent. It's gonna take some time. I'm like, okay, maybe they didn't show up. So yeah, I thought maybe it didn't show up, and then that would have been a bummer.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, I was just standing there, and the guy was like, oh, your opponent is right here. And I just turned around and it was him.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I know who you are. So it was a surprise for sure for the first few minutes. And then I was sort of switched on. I was like, okay, I've trained for quite a while to actually, be here. And the fact that it was him sort of, yeah, it was my first, tournament. So obviously there was a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
But a few minutes before the match, I was pretty much, all of that was gone. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to actually, compete now. So yeah, that was it.
That's what's up. And then you guys had 3 matches. Do you have any memories or considerations regarding those matches?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of disqualified myself the first one, which was not.
Sure that's recorded, right?
Yeah. So that was, I would say I was sort of in the lead.
Yeah, but just so everyone knows, it was a knee reap, right? So whenever you're in one leg X guard, don't reap your partner's leg.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my ankle lock. I'm gonna win the first round, and then obviously I did that, and that was a bummer.
So that was a no contest, right?
Yeah. So basically, he won technically that round. But yeah, apart from that, the second one was great for me. I won by points. The third one, I was sort of in the lead, but he sort of, got some points over me. And
Right in the end, right?
yeah, he held me down on like a mount, and I was not able to get out of a mount. And I realized that it would have been a bit more straightforward if I remembered what I learned. So now I've practiced it quite a bit, so I'm pretty decent at that right now to get out of mount.
Confident to get the W this time, huh? And just so everyone knows, and sorry to interrupt, it was a BJJ Tour event, so they are not single elimination, they're round robin. So it's minimum of 3 matches, depending on who wins and who loses, right? So just so everyone is aware of that.
Yeah, but in general it was fun. I remember like every time, before the match, he kept on saying, "Oh, let's have fun," and he was like any other person. So there was nothing that was sort of intimidating because of the fact that it was who he was. But yeah, it was like a pretty unreal, surreal experience.
For sure.
Yeah.
And outside of that, are you looking forward to maybe facing him again?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks like he's been training quite a bit, and looks like he has an MCL injury.
Yeah, unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Yeah, but he seems to be training in MMA. He just got his blue belt. I'm going to join him soon.
I was gonna say.
I guess once I sort of level up, hopefully he shows up in one of those other tournaments here in the Bay, and I'll be waiting for him.
Okay, that's what's up. Do you have any other things that you think it's worth mentioning?
Yeah, I mean, the tournament was fun. It was my first tournament, so it's just been a bummer that I've not been able to kind of compete in more. I want to this year, but I have this shoulder niggle which hopefully gets better soon. If not early January, I'm gonna compete in that. So the fact that everyone sort of encouraged me to eventually get into the first tournament was a huge deal, because I remember like a few weeks before I was like, do I do it, do I not? And then I think you, Christina, and a bunch of people were like, you know what, you should do it. And the fact that all of you encouraged me to do that was something that I would never forget, and obviously what led up to it, and eventually the whole thing was amazing. Training here has been pretty damn good, and I'm gonna continue doing that for a while.
Yeah, that's awesome. For me, it's a lifelong practice, so I hope for you too.
Yeah, for sure. It's only been a couple of years, so a lot more to go.
That's what's up. Vijay, thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's pretty much it. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Vijay.